issues that we are very sensitive to, and he's utilized his skill set in regards to technology to really help organizations during COVID with telehealth and virtual meetings and all the things. TJ's been a big advocate and resource, for all those organizations. So he's going to tell us about his journey today, and looking forward to that. So I'm going to turn it over to him. TJ.
Hi. So, as he said, my name's TJ. A few fun facts about me is I have a dog named Oreo. I do love technology, and I'm kind of a workaholic. Sometimes I think our stories actually start before we're born. My grandfather died by suicide when my mom was 16, and they found him in the house, in the bed. He had shot himself. They never got counseling or anything like that. My mom actually got pregnant with me when I was 19 and had me when I was 20. My biological father actually signed his rights away when I was 3 months old. I lived with my grandmother and great-grandmother until I was 5. My great-grandmother had got ill with dementia, and she actually took off running with me, and they found us like 4 miles from the house. So I was forced to move in with my mom and my stepfather at the time. My stepfather at the time was very abusive. He abused us in every way, and he had molested me from the time I was 5 to the time I was 13. He got 25 years of jail time for what he did to me. He only served 20. He got out in 2014. But I know a lot of people say that I'm lucky that he even got time, because a lot of times people who go through that kind of stuff, there are people who don't even serve time or anything like that. I was diagnosed with PTSD when I was 14. I went to a local mental health at the time. I went there from the time I was 14 to 19. I had a really good counselor, but the doctors, they kept changing doctors on me, and they would change up my meds. It was like I was almost a guinea pig, per se. And I was so drugged up in high school, I couldn't even focus. It was so bad, my algebra teacher told me one time, she's like, I'm going to pass you in this class, but you've got to take another class. But because of what you've been through, you're not going to go to college. There's no way. She was like, you might be lucky, if you can just, like, work retail or whatever. And, so I tried to work full-time and go to college right after high school. I dropped out of college because work was kind of more important to me at that time. I did start going back to college when I was 22. I went there full-time while working 2 part-time jobs. I graduated in 2007 with a bachelor's degree in mass communications and a minor in digital media. At the time, I was with a partner for 6.5 years who was untreated bipolar. And then I ended up with a partner for 10 years who has schizoaffective disorder. And I learned a lot about different mental illnesses outside of the PTSD in those relationships. I worked for AT&T for 8 years. I was making good money, working 50, 60 hours a week, making $70,000 a year. But then things started happening. I started working for AT&T in 2010. In 2014, the guy who abused me got out of prison. 2015, I watched my dad die in the hospital alone. 2016, I watched one of my aunts who helped raise me die, and also I had been watching my dad's sister also pass. In 2017, my wife at the time wanted to OD with the dogs because she was tired of her hallucinations from the schizoaffective disorder. Between working all that time and experiencing all of that, I ended up breaking down, and I wanted to die, so I knew I needed to go get help, and I checked myself into the hospital for the first time. During that time, well, back when my dad was dying, he told me, one of the questions I asked is, what did you want to be when you grew up? And he laughed and he said, rich. And then he got all serious and he said he wanted to be happy. He had actually never been happy. And he asked me if I had been happy, and I couldn't honestly say yes either. So, in 2017, when I was in the hospital, I realized how much that impacted me, and that it was time for me to live for me and for me to be happy. Um, I've always felt like a male, and I was born female. Um, I also in 2015 I was diagnosed with a cancer gene, so it was a good excuse to go ahead and start transitional surgeries and stuff. That's how I ended up affording the surgeries that I've gotten to transition. Is through the cancer gene excuse per se. Um, I just used it to my best way that I could. I had also, in the hospital, came up with some private support groups. I didn't know that there was a Pure World. I had no clue. Um, I just looked up on NAMI and at the end of 2017, and then in the beginning of 2018, I really got involved. I got certified with In Your Own Voice, and as a group facilitator with NAMI, um, I took APPR training through Wings and became a facilitator through them. I got certified in QPR training, which is suicide prevention training, through ASPARC. I got certified as a CPS in 2018, and now I'm a trainer for CPS. I'm also a Respect Initiative speaker. I work with NAMI, doing some of their tech work. I've built Wings' first website, Wings Across Alabama's website. I have, like Jim had said, I have been with JBS since September. I'm also co-chair of the PAMI Advisory Council. I'm also on the state's MI Planning Council, on the board of ASPARC, which is Alabama Suicide Prevention and Resource Coalition. Also this year, I'm also the AIR Conference Coordinator. And the way that I've gotten from working at AT&T for 8 years to where I am now, it's taken a lot of learning about self-care, coping skills. I've read a lot of books whenever it comes to PTSD and how to handle different things. Plus, I've been working really closely with my therapist. And during this time, I've not only learned how to advocate for myself, but for my other peers that don't have a voice. There's a lot of stigma out there that is wrong. And whenever I say peers, I don't only mean mental health. I also mean in the LGBTQ community also. I've lost a lot of people to suicide, whether they were mentally ill. Two people in 2017 that I met in the hospital actually died by suicide in February of 2018. And it's one of the things that gave me a push to do what I do. I could very easily go back selling cell phones, making good money, because I retired from AT&T. I didn't quit, I didn't get fired or anything like that. But this is kind of where my heart is and where I want to be. I do have some physical issues that does play on my mental health sometimes, because I got chronic pain from it. But I've learned how to manage it as it comes. If there's one thing that you can take away from this morning, please know that there's always hope for people to truly be themselves and function with a mental illness. You never know what somebody's story is and what they may have been through. That's it.
Thanks, TJ. That's really